Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. My name is Natalie Cartwright, and you are tuning in to an Education Abroad Fair session. In this session, we are going to go over the College of Business and some of the short-term program options. We won't cover all of the short-term program options that we have for college business students today. We'll only cover 5, but it will hopefully give you a little bit of information to kind of start your journey with looking into a best fit program for yourself. Before we get started, I am going to read the CSU Land Acknowledgement. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion, and significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. Before we get started, just a little bit about myself. So as I mentioned, my name is Natalie Cartwright. I use the pronouns she, her, hers. I work in the College of Business in a dual role as the Global Opportunities Coordinator and as an academic advisor. So I primarily work with any student that is interested in going abroad, that is a business major, minor, or an exploratory studies student who might have a business interest. My main goal when I'm working with students is something that I call curriculum integration. I like to say that I put the education back in education abroad. And so by doing so, I'm making sure to keep you on track for your intended graduation. A few things before we just jump into some bigger things is myth busting. So education abroad can keep you on track for graduation. So this is my main goal when I'm helping students with finding their best fit program. There are programs that are less expensive, as expensive, and more expensive than CSU, so something just to kind of keep in mind. You can fulfill course requirements abroad, so it's not just about taking free elective credits while you're abroad. You definitely can take College of Business core courses, as well as many of the students that have gone previously have taken some of their concentration requirement courses while they're abroad. And then we also have a risk management team that supports students while abroad, so that we're not only prioritizing academics, we are also prioritizing health and safety here at CSU. To kind of give you a glimpse into some of the top destinations that our business students go for short-term programs, we have Ecuador, United Kingdom, Italy, and Spain. Ecuador and United Kingdom we'll talk on for 2 specific programs that really drive students to those locations. And then if you look at the breakdown of concentrations that are going abroad, you'll see that of the students we send abroad, 1 in 3 or 33% of those students identify as their primary concentration marketing. Our next 2 largest concentrations that do go abroad are going to be organization, innovation management, and finance. It doesn't mean that the other concentrations aren't a good fit for going abroad. It's just that it might be a little bit more difficult or not as flexible, and we really want to then be focusing more on a student's College of Business core courses instead of their concentration courses. Prime examples of courses within the concentration that are very difficult to get abroad are going to be for our accounting, financial planning, and our real estate students. Your concentration courses really need to be taken at CSU, but we can definitely get you on many different program options that explore your College of Business core coursework instead. We do have a recommended programs list. Right now on the website, you'll see that there's finance, organization and innovation management, marketing, and business minors. Soon coming will be CIS, supply chain management, human resource management, and our international business secondary concentration will also have a list of recommended programs. One of the first programs that I want to go into for the 5 that I'll be highlighting, this is going to be our Community and Cultural Engagement in Ecuador program. This is a 2-week program that typically runs in January. We won't be holding it for the winter break of 2022, so this upcoming January due to COVID concerns, but we do hope to get this program active and students back on it and going abroad with it by the next year. During this program, students do a mix of activities that include business site visits, cultural engagement through service learning projects, and then of course checking out some of the big tourist destinations throughout the various cities that you'll visit. So while on this program, students go to 5 to 7 different cities and really get to see different aspects and areas and regions of Ecuador to really take home a much larger and fuller picture of the country of Ecuador while you're there. This is a program that students in any concentration, any major, minor, are more than willing to be accepted to. For our business major students, if you are finance, OIM, or marketing, it will actually count into your concentration credits as an upper division finance, accounting, real estate elective, or as an OIM group 2 or marketing group 1 requirement. If you're a business minor student, this course will fulfill your business minor capstone, so that Biz 405 requirement would be taken care of. So this is a wonderful program. It's a traveling program, short-term, winter break. So definitely look for it to be offered in future Januaries. The second one that I want to cover is a newer program that we offer to Portugal. This program fits great for any student in human resource management, supply chain management, organization innovation management, or any student that might be doing the leadership in organization certificate. The credit that a student would receive on this program is Management 411. The faculty who leads this program is Professor Travis Maynard, who's actually an assistant dean here in the College of Business, who used to teach in the management department and was the management department head. But this program is a summer program. It's a short 2-week to Lisbon, Portugal, which is the capital of Portugal, where students will take courses not only with the CSU students that are on the program, but also other students that might be completing summer coursework in Portugal at Ishta University, where this one takes place. The third one that we're going to talk about is marketing at Harlexton College in England. This is a program that is best fit, but not just solely limited to students that are in the marketing concentration. Students on this program would receive credit for Marketing 320, which is integrated marketing communications, as well as Marketing 361, which is buyer behavior. The faculty for this program is actually part of the faculty with CSU Pueblo in the Harlan Business School down there in Pueblo. He himself is from Britain. He's been taking students on abroad experiences for many, many moons. He has a lot of comfort with England, being from there, as well as having led many students on this program. So this program is a little bit more unique, that it's a faculty-led program for 6 credits. It's one of the only ones that we offer for business credits that's faculty-led. That's 6 credits instead of 3 or 4. But students would do a little bit of coursework online prior to going on this program, and then they would complete the 3 weeks in country living in this manor. So the picture that you see is Harlexton College, which is inside Harlexton Manor. So it is an old English countryside manor. So you would sleep in there. There's a dining facility in there. There's a workout gym space, obviously smaller than the rec center here, but there is a space for you to get some physical activity in if that's something that you would like to do. And then a lot of the days when you're not doing classwork in a classroom in the building, you are actually out somewhere in England or up in Scotland doing site visits and learning hands-on about the different topics of the course. The fourth one that really plays to a supply chain management student is going to be supply chain management in Peru. So this program goes to Lima, which is the capital of Peru. So now we're down in South America. This is a newer program that we've run a couple of times. The faculty for this program is Dr. Susan Galisic. She teaches in the supply chain department, both undergrads and graduate students. However, this program is designed for undergraduate students. So this would be a course that would fulfill a supply chain group 1 requirement. So if you're a supply chain student, you can know that by going on this program, you could take care of 3 of your credits of supply chain. This is a program that is reserved for supply chain management students only. And that's because of additional funding that comes into this program from the Supply Chain Forum, with the stipulation that a student needs to be studying supply chain. So if supply chain is your primary or your secondary, this would be a wonderful opportunity for you. This program goes typically in early August, so before the start of a fall semester. It's going to be shorter. It's going to be in the 7 to 10 day frame for length of the program. But during that time, a lot is packed into that very short itinerary. everything from business visits. You even get to visit a port. Lima sits on the coast, so it has one of the largest ports down in South America for bringing in products and goods, as well as working with local university students on a project. While you are down there, you would also have some free time to explore Lima as a city, check out some of the archaeological sites that they have, as well as some of the larger tourist spots that draws people into Lima as a city. The fifth program that I just want to touch on quite quickly is going to be hospitality and tourism in Thailand. This is a wonderful program. It's putting students into Asia. So again, on another part of the region of the world. This is a wonderful program if you're a business minor student. It will provide you that business 405 requirement, just like the Ecuador program. This one, it typically runs in the summertime as well. It goes with a faculty member who she herself has ties to Thailand, so she's very comfortable there and can certainly walk students through it. This program also recruits for students that might be in the hospitality and tourism program here at CSU, so it's not just trying to target students that have a business background, and so this would be a really great program if you wanted to go on a program with students from different disciplines and not just from business. And then if you're not a business minor, you can definitely still go on this program. It would count as free elective, which all business majors need anywhere between 27 and 30 credits of free electives. So if you've always wanted to go to Thailand, this could be a really great way to get you there. Those are going to be the 5 programs that we highlighted. Of those 5 programs, 4 of them are going to be for earning CSU credit. So the course that you take abroad is going to be coded as a CSU course, and it will impact your CSU cumulative GPA. The 5th program is actually going to be for transfer credits, and that's going to be that marketing and Harlexton in England program. Since it's being taught by a CSU Pueblo faculty, the credits are actually going to transfer from CSU Pueblo. A student still needs to earn a C or better in order for CSU Fort Collins to accept that credit. But we will let you know that the courses will transfer as the 2 courses I stated, Marketing 361 and Marketing 320. And then the grades will show as a transfer A, B, or C on your transcripts, but they will not be added into your cumulative GPA. Only for students that are going on that Harlexton program or any other program, in case you've attended other sessions that might not be receiving CSU credit and are instead transfer credit. A student does need to complete a transfer credit approval form prior to going abroad. This is pretty much your contract with CSU, that if you take the courses that you list on this sheet, CSU guarantees that the credit we write on this form will be the credit that we'll receive for you, so that there's no going back and forth or taking a course thinking you get some sort of credit for it and then it not being the credit that you wanted for that course. So the transfer credit form can be a little bit stressful of a process, but it can in the end, it's worth it to know exactly while you're taking a course what your course is going to come back to CSU as. For business students, majors, minors, exploratory studies with a business interest, you always have me as a resource to help guide you through the transfer credit form. So just let me know if you ever have any questions and want to work through your transfer credit form so that we can keep you on track for that graduation date. Throughout your education abroad experience, you will work with a handful of people. You'll work with myself from the business school, the Global Opportunities Coordinator, for all of the academic components. You will also work with the CSU Education Abroad Coordinator. This will be, and I'll have a slide with their breakdowns of regions, but this will be determined regionally, depending on what their caseload is. And then you will also have either a program advisor, not in the case of any of these programs we talked about, more so though you'd probably also be working with CSU faculty or a staff group leader for these various staff and faculty-led programs that we just covered. This is a glimpse at some faces that will hopefully become very familiar to you throughout your education abroad experience, or at least one of these faces will become familiar to you. This is the team of education abroad coordinators. They are professional staff over in the Education Abroad office, which is located on the Oval in Laurel Hall. And as you will see, they each have their regions underneath them. So depending on kind of where you're looking to go, will determine who you work with. Faculty-led, many people work with faculty-led, so that's just something to keep in mind. that your faculty-led program might sit with Vanessa, or it might sit with somebody else on the team. But whoever's in charge as an Education Abroad coordinator of the program, it will be listed on the Education Abroad website. We also have some peer advisors. So these are going to be students. So just like yourself, students that are currently attending CSU, have not graduated, but they have already completed an Education Abroad experience. Typically, it's a variety of different locations. So Brennan went to Swansea, Claudia went to France, and Tia went on a staff and faculty-led program to Morocco. Financial aid and scholarships, this is always a huge thing that students are always asking about, and it's a good thing that students are asking about, since finances can definitely play a large role in a decision to study abroad or not. We do have 2 financial aid advisors here on campus that work primarily with students that are studying abroad. Cindy Maris and Evelyn Martinez are going to be those 2 financial aid advisors. So if you email specialprograms@colostate.edu, one of these ladies will respond to you in your inquiries about how your financial aid might carry over with you for an Education Abroad experience. We do have an Education Abroad Common Scholarship application. You might be familiar with the CSU Common App for on-campus scholarships. It has a very similar process where we have you apply for one application here on campus, and then we will divvy it up to the units that might have scholarships that you are eligible for. So the College of Business scholarships pull from the Common Scholarship application. So as long as you pay attention to the deadlines for the Common Scholarship application, you would be considered eligible if you're a business major for the business scholarships as well. Next steps and kind of where to go from here. You'll want to make sure you plan out what classes you need to graduate. So starting with yourself and kind of seeing what you think you know, and then perhaps meeting up with your academic advisor. If you are a business major student, you will actually meet with me for this step instead of your assigned academic advisor in the College of Business. You can visit the Start Here page. That is going to be off the main website of the of Education Abroad at colostate.edu. You can research programs online. So we have lots on the Education Abroad website. So definitely set aside some time to go through there, because there's lots and lots to look at. You can make an appointment with an Education Abroad coordinator. You can make an appointment with a financial aid counselor for Education Abroad. And then we absolutely want you to apply for programs and scholarships. And then just as a reminder, there are going to be Education Abroad fair sessions happening throughout the week, so through Friday. So just make sure to tune in. You can access the full schedule from the Education Abroad website. And thank you for joining today. And then if there are any questions, feel free to type them in the box, and we will answer those for you. Thank you so much.
Natalie, that was fantastic information. Thanks so much for sharing about these short-term programs for college business students. At this time, we don't have any questions.
Perfect.
So I want to say thanks to Natalie and thanks to everybody who tuned in today. And we hope to see you at another Education Abroad. Oh, we're getting a question.
We just have a question. Yep, I'll just go ahead and, yep, thanks for getting that in. Whoever just texted that in. So the question was, do you have to be a marketing major for the Harleston College trip? You do not. So the only ones of the ones that I talked about today is supply chain. It has to be for the Peru program. Otherwise, any concentration, any major for any of the other programs is totally acceptable.
Good question.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.